It was a beautiful morning, and I kept glancing through my phone to the African Folktale by Coco channel on YouTube. And the more comments I got to ask my husband, the more panicked I got. I thought of how best to start without pissing him off and without being suspicious, but I got none until an idea came to my mind while we were having our breakfast the next morning. "Babe, are you okay? You seem a little quiet," he said to me. I could see the look of concern all over his face. I sighed and replied, "Nothing, love. Come on, we both know that's a lie and you haven't even eaten anything out of your food," he stated. "My love, your happiness is my happiness. I live to make you happy, so tell me what the problem is." I gave another exasperated sigh and abandoned my food, leaning back against the seat. "Henry, something has been bothering me, and I do not know how best to approach this." He stopped eating, giving me his full attention. "Talk to me." I sighed again for the third time. A memory came to me, a name rather, part of that terrible night. I don't know how best to approach this matter. A memory, a name. What name? First, please, that night, when they were talking to you, while I was unconscious, what were you discussing? He was a little bit taken aback and he stared at me for a while. Then he spread his arms. "I was just begging them not to hurt you, that was all." I studied his face, and whatever emotions he was trying to hide were hidden so well, so I decided to turn it up one notch. I heard the name, Benita. I waited for his reaction but got none, then continued. "So I thought you may enlighten me on who she is." "Who is she?" he asked. "I don't know. The guy mentioned it that night." He sighed and took my hand. "Baby, please let this go. There was no name that was mentioned that night. You were drugged. You cannot trust what you might think you heard. Okay, let's play a game." "So, what about the girl during your NYSC?" At this, he flinched but slightly. "I can't believe you are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. How does my NYSC relate with what happened to us?" "Do you know anyone by the name, please?" Yeah, I know a couple of people who do not matter. For instance, the girl was my student during NYSC, nothing more." "Baby, you do not need to raise your voice." I tried to sound as calmly as I could, but it was not helping. He was now standing up. "What are you doing? Trying to accuse me for what happened to you? Do you think I have something to do with this? How delusional are you? How dare you think of something like that? I have been nothing but nice and understanding with you. Do you know what I'm going through?" "I'm sorry, Henry, being celibate for years because of you. Do you think it has been easy for me, and what did you repay me with? Suspecting me for your rape. I cannot believe, in fact." He left his seat and walked to the table. There he picked his car key and left me sitting. Some seconds later, he was driving out of the compound. God, what have I done? It was already some minutes past 10 p.m. My husband was yet to come home and his line was still switched off. I didn't know what to do, so Elle decided to call Felix. He picked the call on the first ring. "Hey, babe." "Felix." "Yes, love. How are you? Have you asked him?" "Yes, and he walked out on me. He hasn't come home since then, and his line is switched off." Felix chuckled. "He is with me." I sighed as I heard that. "Is he okay?" "Yes, and he has not told me anything. He only said that you two had a misunderstanding." I was surprised. He didn't tell Felix anything. "You didn't ask him what could be the cause?" "No, babe. I think he is really keen on making the whole incident a secret. Do not wait up. He is not coming home, but he is fine." "Okay, thank you. Good night." "Wait, what do you want to do?" "Well, I will get some sleep tonight, then I will know what to do." "Okay, dear. Good night, love." "Good night, Felix. I love you." I inhaled deeply and said nothing before ending the call. Lying down on my bed, I stretched my hand to the nearby stool and took my nightbook. Then I opened the middle page, and in it was the picture, the NYSC picture. Elle had kept it that day. I looked at everyone in the picture, then I turned it to the back. Somewhere at the bottom was written, Muhammad Ali Memorial College, Tofa Local Government, Kano State, Nigeria. I took my phone and dialed a number. Then I put it to my left cheek. "Hello, yeah, good evening. It's Tola." "Yes, is my passport ready?" "Okay, thank you. Have you come up with the best excuse for my husband?" "Okay, perfect. I cannot wait. I will leave for Kano tomorrow. Thank you, Kate." In case you are wondering, Kate is my therapist and she is helping me leave for Kano. And not only that, she's coming up with perfect excuse for my husband on why I had to leave to take a vacation in a faraway place. Alone, of course. Once he knows it is for me to get healed sexually, I am sure he would not worry too much. Returned the book back to the stool and held the picture in my head. Kano, here I come. I yawned and rubbed my eyes as the Kiki Napep I boarded finally stopped.
Paul, madam. We don't read Bobajitan or your Pandan.
The Hausa-man said to me, the journey had taken just 1 hour and another 1 hour to get to Bebeji by cab before I finally took Kiki Napep.
Hey, madam, you the Pandan or you know the Pandan? Me one day go my house.
I smiled as I gave him some Naira notes from my purse. Keep the change, Aboki. I climbed down from the Keki Napep with my bag and began to look around. Everywhere was sunny and dusty but crowded as well. We seemed to have gotten to some kind of market. I could see people whose faces were covered with hijab masks. Many ladies who were buying and selling had their bodies covered from head to toe. Even with the way they were covered, you could tell they are really beautiful. There were some biker men who spotted me and started calling to me to come and patronize them.
Where are they go? Make I carry you. Where are they go, madam?
One of them asked, Muhammad Ali. I replied and then followed the one that seemed to know the school. While on the bike, my phone started vibrating. I had forgotten to switch it off in the plane. I took it out only to find 32 missed calls, 10 from my husband, 5 from my therapist, and the rest was from Felix. I sighed and then switched off my phone. I needed to digest this beauty of the north and I didn't want anything to distract me. You are welcome to Memorial College, Madam Tola. Mr. Chucks, the school principal. Mrs. Kate told me you were coming. I never knew you would come so soon. So how can I help you? The principal was Igbo, even though his intonation was quite flawless. He was cleanly shaven and looked like a man in his late 50s. A lady came in and opened the bottle of Pepsi for me while placing a straw in it carefully with courtesy before leaving. Thank you, Ma, and thank you, sir, for welcoming me. I am glad you are aware of my coming. My name is Tola, as you know, and I am from the Department of Social Sciences of University of Lagos. I fidgeted with the fake ID card on my chest so that he could see. How was your journey, Ma? I hope you like what you have been seeing so far about Kano. I smiled. Kano is a beautiful place. I am honored to have been sent for this generous offer all the way from Lagos. The man smiled and leaned forward, placing his arms on the table that was littered with opened files. So how can we help you, our Lagosian? I chuckled. Well, sir, just like I said, I am one of the lecturers of the school, and we just started a project that will be beneficial for all Nigerian students through NYSC core members that have served or are still serving. We know that so many people think that the NYSC scheme is just a waste of time. So by rewarding brilliant students through the corpus recommendations, parents, school, and students can really benefit from the scheme. Wow, this is really good. But why start with our school? We have bigger schools with more intelligent students. I smiled at his humility. Well, sir, the reason is because we have recommendations for your school. A high number of corpus recommended this school because of the great work of the principal in the person of you, sir, and the great impact of some of your teachers too. He leaned back. I could detect a hint of pride on his face. Wow, I am so happy to hear these. So when you said reward, what exactly is it? Money or scholarship? Well, this plan is working so well. Well, it depends, sir. For students, we have money and scholarship, and for the principal and teachers, we have tokens for them. We both laughed at this, and he stood up. No problem, as long as we also benefit from something. So where do we start from? Let's start from the corpus you had 2 years ago. Let's see those that had a great impact on some of your students. Wow, thought you would ask for the one for this year. Let me call my secretary. I waited patiently as he called his secretary, who came in with some files. They both went through it and later separated some files from the rest. Madam, these are the files of the corpus we had from the last 2 years. All right, please help me look for Corporal Henry Benson's file. He recommended this school. At this, the principal's face lightened up. Wow, Henry, he was one of my best corpus. Here is his file. I tried to maintain my emotion as I collected Henry's file and went through it. There were some pictures of him in his white and green khaki shirt where he was standing alone, and then another with Felix. Then the same picture I had seen back at home, and then another with a girl and a woman, giving the girl an award. The girl was very fair and exceptionally beautiful. Her hair was packed in a ponytail and it seemed to be reaching her waist. She couldn't have been more than 16 years old, and she was not in the picture at home. Please, when was this? Oh, that was last year, when our brightest student was given the state award. I had no idea why my heart was beating so fast. Please, what is her name? Oh, that is Benita Akinga, the principal said sadly. She was our brightest student. She was the best student to win a scholarship in this school. Benita, the pride of our state. The beating of my heart increased, and I tried desperately to calm down. What was wrong with me? So where is she now? Well, madam, she died last year. Well, madam, she died last year. My heart sank as I heard the statement. No, it couldn't be. I wanted to talk, but it was like something was blocking my throat. Suddenly, I felt a little dizzy, and I had to hold the chair to maintain my balance. Are you okay, madam? Mr. Chucks asked, reaching out to steady me, and Elle looked down in embarrassment as I let my emotions betray me. I am so sorry, sir, I started, clearing my throat, which sounded a bit husky, as if they were not mine. I just never expected that such a talented girl could die so suddenly. What happened? The man sighed regrettably, taking out her picture. Well, she was sick or so I heard. That was shortly after the corpus had left though. She was really sick, and that was why she wasn't in this picture. The sickness lasted for a while, as her mother had said. Was she taken to the hospital? Mr. Chucks shrugged slightly. I thought she was. Then I found out she wasn't. It was really a complicated story. I sighed as I took another file. I didn't want it to seem as if I was only interested in Henry. Fortunately, I found that the file was Felix's. Oh, this is Mr. Felix. What subject did he teach? It should be in the file. He and Mr. Henry were very good with the students. We have other good students that are alive though, so that your journey will not be wasted. Felix had taught economics while Henry took political science. They were seen together in all of the pictures except that where Henry had taken a picture with Benita, Felix was not there. Well, she was a brilliant student to have been given an award. Her demise would have created such a great hole in her family. Well, that's for sure. Can you give me her address? I really need to go see the family. Wow, sure, but you are coming back here, right? I nodded. Of course. The house was a little bungalow, moderately furnished. I climbed down from the bike and paid my fare. Then carefully I walked to the front door and just raised my hand to knock. I stopped. Am I really doing this? Am I actually facing my nightmare? Once I knock and the door opens, there is no going back, said to myself. But I knew I had signed up for this when I had taken a flight to Kano. Just as I wanted to knock again, my phone rang. It was Kate. Hello, Kate. She said my husband has given her 24 hours to produce me, else she will be arrested for kidnapping. She wanted me to hurry up. Thank you. I will get there soon. Just as I ended the call, Felix's call came in. He was worried sick and wanted to know where I was. Felix, I will be back soon. I'm so sorry for getting you so worried. I will let you know once I'm back. He said Henry was worried sick and greatly troubled. He also said he had calmed him down from calling the police. He begged me to call him, but I said not yet. I was worried about him the other day. It was his turn now. I ended the call without disclosing my location. Just as I raised my hand again to knock, the door opened without me touching it.
Hey, Wei. Hey, Wei.
A female voice shouted at me from within.
Hey, Wei, Auron. Where are you, Auron?
The voice said again. It sounded like an elderly woman's voice, but I couldn't understand the language. Hello, good afternoon, Ma. I sighed. Please, does anyone in here speak English? I shouted back. Yes, we do. What do you want? At the sound of the manly voice that spoke back, a chill crept up my spine, and for some second, I felt as if the ground would give way under. I could see a figure approach me and my heart beat faster. When I finally saw his face, or gasped, it was the man that had raped me. the one that had taken my virginity. For a while, we just stared at each other. I kept looking at those eyes that were unblinking when my virginity was being ripped away from me. Somehow, I knew he could recognize me as his frowns deepened. He stepped a little closer and shut the door behind him. "What do you want?" he growled. That voice seemed to bring back the nightmare of that night, and before I knew it, tears were dropping from my eyes. I was trembling, and maybe I had hoped for some kind of remorse, but the hatred that radiated from him was overwhelming. All I could say was, "Why?" he scoffed. "Are you here with the police? Are you here for some kind of revenge?" I shook my head slowly. "I am here to know why you ruined my life." At that, he raised his brows. "I ruined your life?" he demanded with a deeper growl. "You ruined my family," he shouted. "I wish I had done more for you." My heart was falling and rising with both anger and curiosity. "I did not deserve it. You are a monster. What did Henry do to you? You spoke with him that night. What did you say to him? How is he related to all this? Why did you have to punish me for it?" I was lowering my voice and sobbing loudly. "Why? Why did you have to rape me to punish him?" This time I was already sitting on the ground. I wasn't having enough strength to talk again or cry.
"Musa!"
The elderly woman called from inside, and then he shouted back in Hausa language. Then he faced me. "You want to know why? Come, I will show you," he replied, opening the door while I stood up and followed. The living room contained 4 chairs and a single TV. It seemed a little bit furnished, and plates seemed to be scattered here and there on the dining table. There was an elderly woman tying a cloth around her. Beside her was a girl that couldn't have been more than 18 years old. She was arranging the table. I recognized her. She was the one celebrating her birthday in the picture. As we came in, they both turned towards our direction. The woman asked Musa something, and he responded in their language. "That is my mother. This is Adijat, and that is Benita," he said, pointing to a picture on the wall. Benita was holding a certificate in her school uniform. "You need to sit down for this," he replied, taking a seat for himself while I did the same. "Adijat, come here." He beckoned to the girl, who came instantly. "Tell this young lady who you are and how your friend died," he demanded, looking a bit angry. The girl was surprised and stared at me, but shrugged and started. "I am Adihatu, Benita's closest friend. Benita died on June 14th, and..." "June 14th?" I asked, and she nodded. How ironic. That was the day I got married too.
She did not come to school that day, and it was strange because we have been planning for the birthday together. So when I go home to check up on her, I saw blood. Blood everywhere is in blood. I dey afraid, and I run to call Mama, who is not inside the house. Brother Musa too, he no dey. So I come back to Benita's room, and I saw her rolling on the floor. Blood coming out of her. She pointed in between her thighs. She can't tell me say, Copper did this to her. Say Copper raped her and gave her drugs to use. And the thing is bringing her blood.
I gasped as she was explaining. Musa's eyes were already red and there were some lines on his forehead. He was also biting his lips. But what Copper? I am sure there were many Coppers. It was Copper Henry. She shouted angrily and affirmatively, and all my world came crashing down. Did she say Henry's name? I asked again stubbornly. No, but she never tell me about any Copper apart from Copper Henry. He used to come here very well then, to take her lesson, and she liked him a lot, she used to tell me. Thank you, Adiyat. You may go, Musa said and faced me as I battled with my discovery. Somehow, I had known this would happen, but for it to finally happen was just making my heart shatter. When my mother heard that her daughter was bleeding to death, she left her shop and was running across the street. She didn't see the truck coming and she got hit. That was how she lost one of her legs and her 2 sights. I gasped even more and glanced at the woman. She seemed not to understand a word. She was busy talking, with Adijat in a hushed tone. I had a dream of becoming a doctor, going to Unilag to further my education, but now I have to stay at home to take care of my mother. I am so sorry. I began to sob. Your sorry will not bring back my lost sister or bring back my mother's sight and leg. I did what I did because he destroyed my family and I wanted revenge. If you want to arrest me, go ahead. I am not sorry. Just then my phone started ringing. It was Henry, but I ignored it. I cannot believe Henry could do something like this, I said to myself. Benita had a diary that explained everything. Yes, she may be throwing herself at him, but he should have known better. He was her teacher. Then he raped her and destroyed her. He killed her. Musa was sobbing now. There are 2 diaries, Adija said from across the dining hall. I have one with me. The second one is still missing. We don't know where she kept it. Do you need the diary? Musa asked, and I nodded. Then he signaled Adija, who went inside, and they came out with a diary. I collected with trembling hands as I scanned through it. I couldn't read. Everything I saw was Copper H on every page. I dropped it on the table, then I burst into tears. It was time to go back home. I had discovered what I needed to discover. But before I boarded a plane back that night, I called Felix and cried, Henry is such a killer, Felix. I am coming back home to divorce him. I am so sorry I left you. Will you take me back? He was confused but was also happy with my decision. He just wanted me to come home. I decided to sleep in his house that night once landed, and then would finally confront Henry with the truth. As he lay in bed that night, I couldn't get enough sleep, even after the passionate lovemaking I just had. I pulled up the blanket to cover my bare chest, looking at him as he snored. He looked so adorable. Somehow, I was glad I finally did this with him. Somehow, Elle had managed to overcome my sexual problem, and somehow that night, I had asked him that night to make love to me. I had wasted time too long. He hesitated at first. He wanted to know where I had been and what had happened, but I gave him no clue as I quickly undressed in front of him. He couldn't say no. He had wanted this many years back, and this was his chance. He had waited for me, but I had given him no chance. We made love twice that night, and it was beautiful, painful, but better than I expected. Even though I cried, it was a mixture of both pain and pleasure, and he was a perfect gentleman. I stood up, dragging the blanket with me to sit in front of the mirror. I sighed. Tola, are you sure you are not creating a mess for yourself? A voice said to me. How could I be creating a mess for myself? I have created a mess a long time ago, and now I'm just trying to clear things up. My husband raped an innocent girl, and not only that, he murdered her. What kind of a monster was he? Musa said they had talked about. Benita, the night of the rape. He said Henry had denied all his accusations, but he could tell he was lying because his face had brightened up when he mentioned the name. Then he had lied about his NYSC pictures. I still thought of why he would lie about that. Maybe there were lots of things he wasn't even telling me to hide his crime. Well, in the morning I would pack my stuff while Felix handles everything about our traveling. I still have my passport, which we had made before his NYSC. I would get the divorce papers and give them to Henry as soon as possible. Hey, beauty. I turned to the man beside me. He was unashamed with his nakedness, and he put his arm around my neck, and we looked at each other in the mirror. I miss you, my love. I miss you too, Felix. I met Henry sleeping on the settee in the living room. I had used my own key to get in, so I didn't have to wake him. He looked exhausted, and there were 2 empty bottles of vodka on the table. The house smelled like someone had poured alcohol everywhere. I placed my bag quietly on the table and began to observe him. Maybe I never loved this man after all. Maybe I had actually been too hasty in jumping into a relationship with him, but I had actually loved him at some point, or maybe so I thought. The blanket covering him had dropped to the floor, and there were some pictures littered all around the cushion in which he was sleeping. I could see Benita's face in one of them, and others were Henry's pictures with Felix, while they were still serving. I sighed. I had no interest in stressing myself any further. He had lied, and it was too late for any redemption. My phone vibrated. It was a message from Kate. She told me not to make any drastic decision yet. Elle ignored her. It was my life, and she had actually tried for me, but she could mind her business now. Just then, Henry stirred, and his eyes opened slowly, but on sighting me, he became wide awake and stood up immediately. My love, where have you been? I have searched everywhere for you. I said nothing, but was just looking at him. How could I have married such a monster? How was I so deceived and blinded by stupid emotions? I am here now, Henry replied emotionlessly. Perhaps he could feel the hatred that was radiating from me towards him, because he immediately went on his knees. Baby, I meant it when I said I love you. I can never trade you for anything. I got so scared I kept it a secret from you. I did it because I didn't want to lose you. I smiled. That is a lame excuse, Henry. I do not need your apologies anymore. I know the truth. I went to Kano to find out things by myself, and I know what you did. This time my voice was quavering. How could you do that, Henry? You did this to me. To us. You thought all the nice things you were doing would actually entice me and distract me from suspecting you? How stupid do you think I am? He clasped both hands together as he knelt. Baby, oh no, I am sorry. I did this to protect us so you won't think I am a monster. But you are Henry. You are a monster. I should never have agreed to marry you. I should have waited and forgiven Felix. At this he frowned. What are you talking about? Yes, Henry. You are not the only one keeping a secret. Gosh, this is so messed up. I began to recount what had happened between Felix and I before I met him, but Elle left out what happened last night. I could see the hurt and disappointment building inside of him, but I could care less. We had both deceived each other. It was better if we went our separate ways. You and Felix were in love before we met. Neither of you cared to tell me, he said slowly and weakly. You have no right to be angry right now, Henry. You did me a favor by keeping such a secret from me so Elle could be with the right person. You are something else, Henry. How could you keep quiet? How were you able to live? Keep quiet, he shouted at me, now standing up. You and Felix? Baby, I would never have loved you less if you had told me. It would not change the way I feel about you. I love you so much. Well, you lost me ever since you started hiding the truth from me. I was raped because of you, Henry. Did you actually believe I would never find out? You didn't even think that one day you will also have a daughter. Do you know the problem the family faces now because of you? He was more sober now as he bit his lips in deep regret. He was also sweating, but my phone rang and I ignored. It must be Felix and I had no intention of picking. So what do you want to do now? He finally asked. Can you forgive me so I can also forgive you? I believe our love is strong and we can overcome this trial. I scoffed. Never, Henry. Not in your life. I slept with Felix last night so that we will never have the chance to come back together. At first he stared at me without blinking. Then he looked away as if he was trying to analyze what I just said. You slept with Felix? You slept with Felix? Yes, Henry. You raped a girl and I slept with your friend. You killed that poor girl and you rendered the family powerless. He looked lost and attempted to sit down. Then he held his head in his two hands as he looked down. I didn't kill anyone. He was muttering to himself and my phone rang again, but I still ignored. You killed the girl after you gave her the drugs, Henry. Stop lying. He looked up and sat akimbo, still looking confused. I am going inside to pack my stuff, Henry. We are so done. I will never be with you, you this cold murderer. Listen to me, he started, standing up. I never killed anyone. I do not know what you are talking about or what lies you were fed, but I killed no one. So how did Benita die? Who raped her? Were you not the so-called Corper H? She wanted me to sleep with her, but I didn't like her as a small girl like my sister. I wanted her to have the best of education. She wanted me to sleep with her, but I couldn't because I love you so much. You are such a lousy liar. So why did you tell me you never knew her? I know that was my mistake. I said that because I was the last person to see her before she died. She called me when she was in pain and I went to her house. She was covered in blood, but I was helpless. I knew if she died, I would be arrested. I could see that she took some drugs which affected her womb. I panicked. I couldn't call for help. That night of your rape, I denied knowing her because I was afraid. I didn't know how her brother found me or why he thought I raped her because nobody saw me that day. I quickly went back to school and traveled back the next day. You were raped because of her, and I didn't want you to suspect me. He was shedding tears now as he spoke, but I was unmoved. I thought you were a good man, Henry. Even with all these, you are still lying. My phone rang and I finally picked it up. What? Who is this? It is Musa. Oh, I said. I have forgotten I left my number with him in case the second diary comes up. So I put the phone on speaker. You should listen to this, Henry, so that you will finally realize that your secret is out. We finally got the second diary, and we realized there has been some mistake. You don't need to be scared, Musa. Please say it. Henry is here. Let him know what he did. It wasn't he who raped Benita. It was one Mr. Felix. We found the diary. Henry was only her crush. He didn't rape or kill her. Felix did everything. I am so sorry. The phone dropped from my hand and clattered on the floor as I heard the news. My legs were trembling and my heart was beating rapidly. I couldn't say a single word as I stared at Henry, whose face was now covered in his hand. Just then Felix opened the door. For a minute nobody spoke. I remembered I had told Felix to come and meet me once he hears no feedback from me in case Henry tries to do something stupid. Henry smiled painfully and sat on the settee looking at the both of us. You Felix, you have ruined me, I managed to say, as I was too weak to say anything else. I just went down on my knees. My heart was breaking so fast and so heavily as I realized the gravity of what I just did. You raped Benita. You lied to me. You took advantage of me. Felix was quiet. He also wasn't looking sober, though he seemed surprised. Babe, you should not have gone to Kano. You should have told me first. I couldn't believe my ears. I just wished I could die that moment as Elle looked at Henry, who was only looking at us quietly. Henry, I started crying profusely. I am so sorry. Henry smiled. I loved you. I took care of you. You just threw it all away as you allowed yourself to be misguided by your own fair and past affair. He was talking as if he had no strength left. I am sorry. Please forgive me. He deceived me. Please, Henry. You ruined us. I was willing to wait for you. The next thing you did was to jump into bed with that bastard. You have ruined us. I loved you. I did everything for you. I never bothered you with sex. You ruined us. He was shaking and crying profusely now. Even though I pleaded and pleaded, it was of no use. Out of shame and guilt, I left and reported the rape and murder to the police. Felix was arrested and taken to jail. Musa was nowhere to be found after he had successfully ruined me. But did he actually ruin me, or I ruined myself? Here I am 2 years later telling my own story. I'm still here picking back the pieces of what is left of my life. Last week I learned that Henry got married in Georgia and his wife gave birth to twins. He had left shortly after the whole saga between us. I am not telling this story so you can laugh at me or you can judge me. I know I am at fault and I know I made a terrible mistake. But I am saying all these so that you can learn from my mistake of jumping into conclusion without full investigation. My mistake of not trusting my husband who loved me unconditionally. The mistake of allowing my past to mess with my present and ruining my future. I have had my own share of fate and I do hope my life will return to normal after this. Please pray for me.
Thanks for watching, besties. Did you enjoy the story? If yes, please comment on the comment section on what you learned from this lovely story. Thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Till we see again. Bye bye.